Sosiel Cleric Guide for Unfair Difficulty. Let's make him valid. What is Sosiel? Sosiel is a very boring cleric and a very weak cleric, but he can be viable on unfair. Alright, so let's see what to do with him. This would be the stats for Sosiel. As you can see, attack is quite good, damage is also quite good, his defense is solid, and saves are quite high. There is one problem, of course, in all of that. He's extremely weak at the start of the game once you encounter him in Act 2. Basically, in Act 2, he is a classic squishy. Mid-game, he becomes a bit better, while late game, he's definitely on its best. What is the most important skill for Sosiel? It's Lore Religion, into Persuasion, into Perception. But basically what's most important and the only thing you actually need for him is Lore Religion. Now let's take a look at Sosiel's inventory. For a helmet, early game, you want to opt in for a positive channeling for better heals. Alright. Later on, you will need a lot of wisdom on Sosiel, and mega late game, you will want helmets of perfection, +4, +6 on all attributes. For Amulet, it's classic armor class from 1 to +7. Nothing else to say about it. Now, as far as armor goes, we need medium or light armor. Make sure that it's mitral or adamantine. If it has some passives on it, even better, from +1 to +5 as you make progress. These goggles of pure sight, I found them to be the best on Sosiel, but frankly, there are no good goggles for a cleric in this game. For Under Armor, Calming Warden might be the best option for Sosiel. As far as cape goes, Cloak from +1 on all saves to +7. If you can also find something like this one with passives, go for it, but just make sure that you have those saves up. For the first ring, we opted in for Ring of Luck. Second ring is Classic, flat protection, raise that armor class from +1 to 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7. As far as belt goes, this is the best belt that you can equip on Sosiel, but early game you will want a belt that gives strength or constitution, even dexterity, everything is valid. Mid-game, perfection belt, +4 on all stats. Late game, you go with Venerated Champion. For bracers, I believe that Clear Purpose is the best one that you can equip. For gloves, Star Embroidered Gloves, only because of luck bonus on all saving throws, +2. Basically, when you check for bracers and gloves, you want to raise some of the stats over here until you find this too. For boots, Perfect Maneuver is very nice on Sosiel. Early game, you can give him freedom of movement, difficult terrain boots, movement speed boots, and so on. Now, for the weapon, cause I built Sosiel with a light mace, I opted in for a Finger Freezer to combine well with a Grave Shivering, so Sosiel is one moving ice tanky pillar. Late game, okay, focused on cold. So, for the weapon, again, make sure that it's a simple weapon. Pick your weapon, what you want to play with, invest into it, and equip only that type of weapon. In this case, it's a light mace. For the shield, Immaculate Petal, his own shield that he's gonna receive in the Abyss, in Alushinira, once he finds his brother, is probably the best one. There are good shields on +5, okay, because this one is +4, but there are no good shields with such amazing stats, okay, for passives like Immaculate Petal is. Sosiel's Mythic Path. For the first one, we take less stand. For the second one, we go with Mythic Toughness. For the third one, Abundant Casting, so we can cast more. For the fourth one, Weapon Focus, Mythic on a weapon you wanna play with. In this case, it's Light Mace. For the fifth one, it's improved Abundant Casting. For the sixth one, it's improved Critical Mythic on a weapon you wanna play with. In this case, it's Light Mace. Then we're gonna go for the seventh one, Integrated Abundant Casting for maximum amount of spells in the game. Defensive Combat Training Mythic for the 8th one, Rapture Restraints, so he resists enemies' crowd control spells, and at the end, Destructive Shockwave, so he hits even when he misses. Classic leveling now, 19 points into Cleric, 1 point into Fighter because of the free feat. Now, let's check those feats. Alright, Sosiel comes with extra channel on Cleric, toughness, and medium armor focus. From level 7 and onwards, you start to level up Sosiel. So the next one is shield focus into history of terrors, into weapon focus on a weapon you wanna play with, into improved critical on the weapon you wanna play with, into critical focus, into defensive combat training, and into lightning reflexes. From the bottom, with a fighter I took improved initiative. You don't need it, to be honest, it's better to take team feats. Now, I could have done all of this, alright, because I was playing as an Aeon Inquisitor and I was sharing team feats. So Sosiel needs seize the moment, shake it off, precise strikes, outflank, coordinated maneuvers, coordinated defense, back to back. All of that is valuable on so you're gonna need like 5 to 7 team feats. And we need to switch a lot of things right now to make Sosiel valid for every mythic path, okay, for every main character that you're gonna play with. So, what you can exclude? History of Terrors, defensive combat training, lightning reflexes, improved initiative, that would be 4, and shield focus, that would be 5. Then now we need to put in some team feats to make him better. Primary, team feat, seize the moment, and shake it off. The next one you can go with precise strike and outflank, that will be 4. And now we need to opt in for the last team feat, that would probably be coordinated defense. And that will be 5. Told you what to switch. You can check advanced stats over here. And off we go to Spellbook. Spellbook, from cantrips, guidance, divine zap, and resistance are good. From level 1, you're gonna learn True Strike, you're gonna learn Bless, you're gonna learn Remove Fear, Divine Favor, Stunning Barrier, Unbreakable Heart, and a few more usages of those into Command. Now, what's the most important one? It's definitely True Strike, combined with Bless. Once you get more free slots, you will learn Remove Fear and Divine Favor. And after that, you're gonna go with Stunning Barrier. So basically, these 5 are the most important on level 1. Level 2, the main slot, Protection from Evil Communal, cast it before you enter the fight. The most important, by far, is a Lesser Restoration, of course. Now, we're gonna go with Protection from Alignment, Chaos, and Evil, mostly during this game. Bone Shaker for some ranged damage, because he is squishy at the start, and this is your damage dealing option. And of course, Effortless Armor. What is the most important one? For the team, it's Protection from Alignment. You learn it first, and you're gonna get the one from his domain slot also. Lesser Restoration, but you can always cast it with scrolls and potions. Bone Shaker after that, and during mid-game when he gets more of those slots, we're gonna go with Effortless Armor. This classics Bull Strength, Bear's Endurance again. You can do it with scrolls early on and with potions. Level 3 spells. For the domain slot, of course, it's Prayer, and it's by far the best thing that you can equip. Cast it before you enter the fight. Animate Dead, classic distraction, okay? You ramp up those skeletons, they tank for you, you wipe out enemies. Delay Poison Communal, Resist Energy Communal, and Magical Vestment for armor and for shield. What is the most important one? Over here in 3, it's definitely Prayer. After that, it's Animate Dead. You can also place Monarch on Zora. You will need this, for example, against Briborax early on. And of course, you ramp this up on the one that's gonna tank. Armor and shield. Raise armor class. Level 4 Spellbook, the main slot, classic Protection from Energy Communal. It's valid all the way till the end game. Some distraction with Summon Monster, Death Ward, so you don't receive those negative levels. Holy Smite for some AoE damage. Freedom of movement, so no one stops you. And of course, Crusader's Edge to deal more damage. Restoration, no brain here, but better to cast it with scrolls early on. And of course, Divine Power. Greater Magic Weapon is good against bosses. Which one is the most important? During Act 2 is Death Ward. And we can easily say also Freedom of Movement, because that's when you receive Sosiel during Act 2. Level 5 Spellbook. For the domain slot, Break Enchantment. Of course, we're gonna go with True Seeing, we're gonna go with Righteous Might, we're gonna go with Angelic Aspect, and this is the moment, basically, when you receive those level 5 spells, when Sosiel becomes valid for melee. Alright, till then, he should remain behind. This is the moment when you switch Positive Channeling Helmet, Phylactery of Positive Channeling, you transfer to some tankier items, tankier helmets, tankier armor, and you start entering those fights. Life Bubble is great, a bit of healing from Breath of Life, it also works at Resurrection. Pillar of Life, of course, and the upgraded version of Bone Shaker would be Bone Shatter. Of course, Spell Resist is also extremely good. So basically, this level 5 is the strongest level for Sosiel. Every spell here is important, but the most important would definitely be Angelic Aspect, which is Might. Level 6 is when Sosiel gets even stronger and party benefits a lot because of level 6. Why? Because of Mass Bear's Endurance, Bull's Strength, Eagle's Splendor, Cat's Grace, Owl's Wisdom, AoE buffs for your entire team, and of course, True Seeing, Communal, everything is equally important, as well as Eagle Soul and Heal. Once you learn all of these, then you can go for Joyful Rapture and Inspiring Recovery, but these over here are the most important, and the most important one would be True Seeing Communal, if no one else can cast it, and after that it would be Eagle Soul. Have in mind that there are a lot of good spells, but Sosiel is that type of cleric that doesn't profit out of Blade Barriers here, out of Cold Eye Strike, out of Dispel Magic Greater. He's just bad at casting it, okay? I took the spells he's good with. This is not a type of cleric that should use these spells. Level 7 is whatever. On Sosiel, I learned what you like, use what you like, everything sucks. On Sosiel, here, the most important one is by far Restoration Greater. After that, do whatever the hell you like here. It really doesn't matter and you won't change much. Level 8 is when Sosiel gets a bit better spells, okay, because of the Holy Aura, because of the Greater Angelic Aspect, when he finally is operative in melee to the max. And of course, all of that is followed by Frightful Aspect. So this is the combo, these 3 spells. The rest doesn't matter that much, but these 3 is what you want to go for. The final level, Mass Heal, No Brain, and you can speed him up with Winds of Vengeance. Everything else doesn't matter that much. Just make sure that you have these, you have Winds of Vengeance, and of course, there is Overwhelming Presence when it triggers. If it triggers, and it hardly triggers on unfair, on easier difficulties, it's definitely valid. Now let's check Sosiel's abilities. I'll hover over everything. You can pause when you want to. Off we go. This comes from Aeon. He doesn't have that many feats. Human skilled, that's about it, racial trait. How do we play Sosiel early game? You remain behind, you're gonna cast Remove Fear, you're gonna cast Bless, you're gonna cast Divine Fervor, enter 3rd or 4th into battle, alright? You can cast True Strike before entering, so you can actually hit someone. You can buff your allies, you can go with Effortless Armor, of course you're gonna go with Protection from Evil, Protection from Chaos. You're gonna cast some of these bones, summon them, okay, so they receive damage instead of your teammates, buff their armor. Go with Archon Zora, cast Prayer before entering fights, that would be from 1 to 3, early game. Mid game, what you can do with Sosiel, you still don't enter the fight on 4, but there are more spells to cast, okay, and to remove negatives with Restoration. On 5, you start entering fights in melee, you switch that bloody helmet, you get some tankier equipment, you go with Angelic Aspect and Righteous Might before entering the fight, and you push Sosiel in first. When he expands his last stand, before resting, you could consider to leave him behind, use Bone Shatter and use Bone Shaker to deal damage to enemies before resting. On 6, cast all of this bloody buffs, alright, everything there is. Eagle Soul, you cast it before entering the fight. On 7, it's forever, as I said. On 8, classic what you did on 6, but this time you're gonna cast Angelic Aspect Greater and enter the fight, as well as Shield of Law or Holy Aura. Depends who you fight against. And on 9, there's like Mass Heal and Overwhelming Presence when it triggers, and that's about it. Any tricks for Sosiel? I would say no. You just need to learn when to go in with him and when to stay behind and heal, debuff, remove negatives, and so on. But that's something you learn as you play. I cannot teach you that. So, Sosiel, again, I love clerics in Pathfinder. Sosiel is the worst cleric I've seen in my life. He can be valid on unfair, but he's so freaking annoying. His story is bad, his lore is bad, his spells are bad, his domains are bad. I forgot to talk about domains because they suck. Okay, they are far better domains. There are like 50 domains in a game, and there's like, from what they give and good and luck, there's like 20 better domains. Okay, easily. He's just bad. But if you want to play with Cleric, if you want to test the Cleric, I gave you the build. Do I recommend him for unfair? No, because you're gonna suffer. Is it valid? Yes, but you're still gonna suffer. He's just straight bad. Now, I stuck with his own leveling, okay, kept him as that Cleric and so on. You can opt in to switch domains, okay? But then you lose other things from Cleric, alright? You cannot max it out in Clerics. They are high-level Divine Casters, and you need to reach that 9, alright? For them to be valid, and it's also a very bad class for multi-classing. So it needs to be perfect from start to finish. Sosiel is broken at the start, so he cannot be perfect at the finish line.